By July, a lot of gardens are looking rough. Plants are wilting, tomatoes are getting stressed, your lettuce is bolting, but your garden isn't failing. It's just really hot if you've got weather like I have here in Kentucky. I mean, I'm wilting a little bit with all of the heat and humidity that we've had. But I'm doing some things in my garden that I think you can use in yours to help your plants get through the heat of the summer and stay productive well into the fall. So watering more is not always the answer. I think that's the thing that a lot of gardeners, especially new gardeners, reach to when they see a plant that is wilted like this. But a wilted plant necessarily isn't telling me to water it, it's saying to investigate the situation. Maybe it's gonna perk right back up once the sun sets and it gets out of the heat. It's totally fine. So check your soil to actually see if it does need to be watered. Move it away, and I mean, several inches down is nice and wet. I mean, we had almost an inch of rain this morning. So I know that this plant is not dying for water. It's just been really hot today. So before you reach for the hose, actually check your soil to see if it is dry. If it is still moist 1 to 2 inches down, hold off. Don't drown your plants. When it is super hot and sunny, I start looking for a shady spot. And maybe you can do the same for your plants and help them out. Whew, that sun is bright right now. I am under this big shade structure that's for my native plant nursery, but you could create something like this for your garden. Shade cloth is a great way to protect plants during that afternoon sun, but even as you're starting to plant maybe your fall garden towards the end of summer, I'm actually starting stuff right now, I'm gonna need that shade cloth to protect my transplants right when they go in, to help the ground not dry out when I'm trying to do things like carrots. Use shade cloth, kind of as a way to just cut that sun a little bit. But if you're going to be covering something, so here I have these hoops where it's closed on both ends. This is insect netting. I need it to be totally surrounded. These brassicas are looking stressed. They're at the end of their season, but we had some really hot weather. Well, this insect netting trapped a ton of heat because it was closed in. Shade cloth will do the same thing. So if you're doing shade cloth, make sure that wind, air can move through so you don't turn it into a little oven. You're trying to cut the heat, not create more of a problem. I like to use a 30% shade cloth for my vegetable garden. The big structure back there, that's a 50% shade cloth only because they're all in black pots. They can heat up really easily. But for most people, most gardens, I use the 30% shade cloth. Have you used it? Let me know your experience with using shade cloth. And once you've got your plants covered with the shade cloth, you're protecting the foliage, the stuff above ground, how about actually protecting the ground as well? Not only when it's hot, I think you should always have some sort of mulch layer down on the ground and not have bare exposed ground, but especially when it is warm. It's gonna protect that ground from getting too hot and losing too much moisture to trap any water that's in there, to keep it from quickly evaporating and turning into that hard crust where soil, if it dries out too much, will actually become hydrophobic. I think they're bacteria, microbes, we'll just use a catch-all, in the soil start to go dormant, and they release this waxy material that kind of coats everything in the soil as like a self-preservation mechanism. And that's what, if you've ever seen it where you get real dry and you go to water it and it feels like the water just is not soaking in, you can solve that by having a good mulch. When I have areas in my garden that have a nice mulch layer and I kind of pull that back, you can just see how much richness, life, and moisture is there. Even when we go for a week or more without rain, that mulch is really doing a lot of work. So keep your soil covered. You can use things even like a mulching compost, one that is a compost that's a little bit woodier. You can use wood chips, keep them on the surface layer, don't incorporate those in. Straw, grass, there's a lot of things that you can use for mulch. I tend to use a mulching, compost, and straw. Those are my go-tos, but you have a lot of good options. Just find out what is, cheap and easily available in your area. And when you reach for that water hose, don't think about watering every single day, at least the same plants every single day. I'm in several gardening groups and I always see people saying, oh, I've been out every single morning watering. That's not the best. One, if the top layer of the soil always has moisture for a lot of plants, they won't send out roots seeking moisture. So they'll actually be more stressed in times of drought because they never had a reason to really reach down in there and establish those roots that are going to pull water from deeper. When you do water, maybe water for a little bit longer, less frequently, to get a good deep soak to saturate that soil, and then wait several days in between. I know it's hot, you've spent all this time of your little tomatoes, they set fruit, they're starting to look good, but don't over love them by drowning them every single morning. Additionally, try to water early in the morning if you can. I know all schedules don't allow it, especially if you have to manually water and you don't have something automated set up. I have an automated drip irrigation set up on my rows back here, but these beds, I got to do it the old-fashioned way. Right now, it is the evening. I wouldn't water unless I absolutely had to, because any water that gets on the foliage is not going to have time to dry with that sun shining down on it. It's going to stay wet longer and can cause potentially some fungal issues. Things like tomatoes, very prone, so you even in general don't want to get the foliage wet. You try to want to water the soil, not the plant. And squash as well, any of the squashes, want to water the soil, not the plant. But also just in general, once you have all that moisture going into the evening, it can cause problems. So water in the morning and water the soil and not the plant. And then there are containers. Containers are difficult because they heat up and dry out way faster. So there's something that you need to monitor a lot more. I've been tempted by one of those automatic kind of drip systems that pulls from a larger reservoir of water where I can set up multiple pots all together. I haven't done it yet. I just try to get out here and water deeply about every 3 days, and my plants are doing okay. These calendula have already bloomed and are going to seed. I've got a lovely parsley over here, some American groundnut. But you have to be on top of it. I've got some grow bags that have, but you have to be on top of it. I have some grow bags that have, but you have to be on top of it. I've got some grow bags that have some sweet potatoes in them that they're not doing well because I just haven't been watering them. And those grow bags, they just emit so much water and moisture. They just don't hold on to it like a pot that is not porous, that they're essentially dead, while my other sweet potatoes are looking great. So if your garden is struggling right now in July, don't give up. You are not alone. My garden is looking a little rough in some spots, but in other areas, things are flourishing, weeds included. Like being smart with yourself when it is hot, think about your plants as well. How can you keep moisture in the ground deeply, protecting them from the extreme heat in the afternoon, maybe with something like shade cloth, babying those transplants. If you're planting anything out in July and August in the northern hemisphere, they're going to need a little bit more coddling than they needed in the spring. That's kind of the best way that I use shade cloth. But don't give up, keep at it, harvest what you can, and I would consider fall gardening. That's become my favorite. But you've got to get through the summer first. My name is Tyler Lloyd. If you have any additional tips about how to survive the summer heat in your garden, leave them a comment down below. Until next time, I wish you the very best. Later.